All right, this reality supreme being, also known as HRM, Caesar St. Augustine de Bonaparte. I've noticed since yesterday I did these two recordings, I got like 41 views on one and 10 views on the other. What's interesting is it's definitely true what I've said all along, all the 300 videos. You're more interested in the title. If it says sex, porn, nude, nudity, anything, people go to that like a magnet. And then they also go to blood, gore, guts, war, children being killed. They go to that. Whether it's because of the reasons of having a compassionate heart, wanting to see such horrible carnage, or seeing such pleasurable activities, which for some people is a great turn on. But the point is, when a person, and then YouTube scatters all the videos, kind of like a tornado. You know how I claimed that I said I can stop tornadoes? That's what this subject is about. And also the ambassador and Libya and this morning's Meet the Press interview. The media is so controlled. I can't see how you people are so blind to see that this is all controlled. Romney, for instance, is supposedly being said that he was against going in after Obama. If Romney had heard my videos, he would have heard me after the Osama bin Laden attack, to go after Osama bin Laden, that he was against it. Well, I was for it, but not in the way Obama did it. I was for it in a different way, that I said I could have captured him alive and everybody else. But I'm not going to tell you the method I would have used, because you're not worth it. None of you are. Just like I knew about the attack on the Libyan embassy 4 years before it happened. You want to verify that, go to Vote Smart and look at my two speeches. One of them was written in 2008. Now, I showed you my presidential seal, the last two, so you know I'm the true president of the United States, even though I'm not recognized, and the media is against me, and everybody is against me, because I'm homeless, I'm poor, I've got broken teeth, I've been abused over and over again by the state of Los Angeles, my civil rights have been violated, and yet here I am. When I mentioned the title, Nude Ambassador Stevens, or Raped Ambassador Stevens, I got 3,000 views within a week, actually in a few days. That's never happened before. Then I put 2 days after I did those two videos, I put Ambassador Stevens' eulogy. I got like 71 hits, 71 views supposedly. So you look at the difference. This is what people concentrate on. So the voters are wrong. You're blind. You're wearing horse blinders, if not just totally. You got coins on your eyes. You can't see for daylight. And it doesn't amaze me anymore that the people in the United States are that dumb and stupid, and that they're equally just as dumb as stupid as the alleged terrorist that they point fingers to and blame all the violence in the world for. Terrorists, let me read my lips. Terrorists are not going to give up. One, because you inappropriately call them terrorists, because that's a moniker for them. Two, you should never have called them terrorists. One of my other videos say that, all the way back to the Olympics in the 70s when they shot all those Olympic athletes because they were Jewish. The point I'm making is, you people you're like homing pigeons. You home in on sensationalism. Sensationalism, blood, carnage, nudity, all the stuff that you people are turned on by or entertained by. You haven't changed from the day of the Roman Colosseum. Remember when I said that in a few other videos? First you threw Christians to lions, then the Christians took over Rome eventually, along with the barbarians, the Germans, and then you started burning people at the stake for not believing in Christ. Hey, I hate to tell you this, but you're just as hypocrite as the Romans were. You're all hypocrites, and you're allowing these rich people like Obama and Romney, all these people, I'm sure they have their good points here and there, but there aren't enough good points or valid points to legitimize them being in any kind of authority. If anything, they should be learning from people like me, which they already are. Believe me, I know that their personal political staff, both Romney's and Obama's and all the other candidates, if they had a political staff, they were watching my videos. They weren't listening to every one of my rants and raves, but I'm sure that they homed in on the most valuable hints and suggestions that they turned around and modified and used it in their Republican or Democratic camp or independent camp, political camp. So, you know, I'm only 5.5 minutes into this video, and I've covered quite a few subjects. One, they now saying, the guy interviewed on Meet the Press this morning said, all we have to do more to protect these embassies. Well, I didn't have to say that in 2008 to know that I knew an ambassador sooner or later would be killed. Now there's one interpretation. The other one, did I have a really clear crystal ball as to Ambassador Stevens' death? I did. But I didn't say anything because I knew this crap would happen to me in Los Angeles. I knew that the Secret Service, the FBI would not investigate the LAPD, the fire department, building and safety, the city council, the mayor's office, for all of the neglect and the outright abusive treatment that I have been through. So that's fine. Guess what? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You get to lose an ambassador for mistreating me. Now, if the terrorists are watching my videos, I'm sure they're taking my lead and saying, hey, if Caesar says and he's being abused in America, we're going to continue doing whatever violence we need to do to get our point across too. Hey, you people asked for it. I didn't do any of this. I'm not a violent person. I told you in one of my other videos, I'm Gandhi reincarnated, but you people still don't want to listen to reason, so violence begets violence. Hypocrites begets hypocrites. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And believe me, I'm full of rage. I don't care if they blow up half the Middle East or half of America. I don't care. And this is how you create people that hate their own country. By doing the stuff, ignoring me, the media doing all the stuff they've done by ignoring me. This is what you all deserve. Now, at 7.5 minutes, let me get off that subject of ranting and raving and get into this article. National Geographic, September 2012, shows a tornado, and in the title it says, and you can't dare, what's up with the weather? Well, weather things are going to happen all the time. We live in a very volatile solar system. When you look at astronomy, you look at Mars, we're now able to look at these other planets. We know that habitable life like ours can't possibly survive for more than a few seconds, if that, before we're absolutely frozen to death or burned to a crisp, like a crispy critter, and or frozen in the burned to death, burned a crispy critter in the morning and frozen to death at night. And that's how it works on some of these planets. So you're lucky to be on this planet at all. And since it's the only oasis in our solar system, I would think that you would treat it better than what you've been doing. And electing the crappy, ridiculous, contradictory people that you elect to office. Obama gets to go on David Letterman, but I don't. Now, I've said before in the past, remember I'm the inventor of the spherical oil tanker that would have stopped all oil spills since the late 70s. They didn't listen to me. You get what you deserve, all the oil spills. The droughts, we're going to get to that. In here they mention that. So we're going to talk about that. You should pick up this copy of National Geographic so you can see what kind of political rhetoric you're getting. Okay? Because you're talking to a master here. I know how to stop tornadoes in their tracks, and I know how to stop droughts. My two-story house that I introduced to the Department of Commerce back in the mid-'80s would have stopped a lot of the droughts. So let me read some figures to you so you'll understand. This is what page 53, right after page 53 in the National Geographic September 2012, they show a graph. And I want to show you this graph because the bubbles in here show the intensity of the damage over the last, since 80 to now. So that's about 30 years. 30 years of my abuse, remember? I've been abused during this whole time. Now, see that big bubble compared to the bubble in the 80s? Back here? See that big blue bubble? That's Katrina. That's Hurricane Katrina, $146 billion. Now, let's go back to the 1980s. These bubbles, 46 disasters from 1980 to 1995. And over here, it's 87 disasters from 1996 to 2011. Notice the shorter span between time limits. That's 13 years there, and 80, 90, 13 years pretty much on the other side. But in all of these disasters, most of these in the 1980s, the 1980 $56 billion drought heat wave would not, my invention would not have stopped that one. But it might have made a dent in the 1989 drought, which cost $78 billion. My new ideas in building two-story houses might have put a sizable dent in that if it had been radically taken up. And let's see, we go on to Hurricane Andrew, so on. These are disasters causing at least $1 billion on over in damages between 1980 and 1995. Over here, 87 disasters, it's gone up. And same thing, over $1 billion in damages. And here you go with all of the disasters showing. Now, the droughts aren't as big, the drought and heat waves, but they are still there. And that means that higher prices in fruits and vegetables and so on. Now, at 12 minutes, you can get the magazine and figure it out for yourself. All right? Now, if a person walks up to you and says they're either a con man, the greatest con man in the world, or maybe they are a messiah. Yeah, with the help of certain factors in the United States, including being master over all the military, which I technically, symbolically am as Emperor of the United States of the renamed America as Turtle Island, the amount of resource material that I would use to fight these things and stop them would be, well, pretty sizable, but it would make its point and it would stop. I can also stop terrorism. One, by not calling it terrorism, because it's a psychological war as well. And the other one, an actual certain events that I would put into motion that would pretty much scare the hell out of every alleged or wannabe terrorist on the planet. But it would also pretty much send a shock wave through everybody. But you people are going to listen to this stupid debate between Romney and Obama. I can't, you know, again, strikes me unbelievably fantastic that you would actually give them any kind of credit whatsoever with the amounts of good and bad things that they do. I'm sure they have done some good things, but look at the bad things too. And bad things create their own momentum as well. This momentum, in many cases, cannot be stopped. Once it starts a cycle of money flowing through it, you can't stop it, because if you do, you'll hurt people, because people that are making money off these bad things are tied into legitimate businesses. And it would have, like, excuse me, a cause and effect reaction. I'm coughing a lot lately because my dental sepsis is probably having an effect on my throat. And like I said, I'm not going to a doctor. I don't care, because I couldn't get in anyway. They had this weekend thing in Los Angeles Sports Arena of free medical and dental. But all they're going to do there is pull your teeth and give you a voucher, maybe, if you're lucky, for to go through the long process of getting some kind of dentures. You know, my teeth wouldn't be broken if I had not been exposed to forced on stress by the city of Los Angeles, my continual civil rights violations, and on and on and on. I've already said it in all my other videos. I shouldn't have to repeat it. There were 40 videos in my yesterday's view and 10 videos in yesterday's view. Like I put it on as a part 2. But you know, it's difficult to put anything, the whole answers. If someone did have all 99% of the answers that would solve all of the problems in the United States, you couldn't tell people the solutions in 15 minutes, or even in 15 hours, or even in 15 months. You couldn't do it. Because each solution that you put into motion would conflict with other solutions that are already in motion. I'll call them wheels in motion solutions. And so these wheel in motion solutions would interfere with other wheel in motion solutions. So you have to, if they don't do this at the White House and at the Pentagon, then they really are stupid. And once you have this whole kind of like CSI investigative thing on a huge wall size deal, then you can actually pinpoint where the changes are needed. Now, I'm sure that with all the money they have, they're probably already doing this, but they're not doing it the right way because I'm not looking at it. You see, that's the problem. They don't know how to multitask. Most of these people, just because they went to college and Harvard and these experts in the Rand Corporation, think that because they have these degrees under their arm, that they know it all, and they don't. None of them know it all, and none of them have the same mind that the other scientist has. So they all have to kind of congregate and figure out together how to do it. But if you're missing even one piece of the puzzle, or someone who's really great at being able to, or even say fantastic at being able to interpret all the things that are going on all at the same time, then, with the help of computers, of course, then you're really wasting your time, and you're causing more damage than help, because the end result is what counts, not the current result, or the current action, or actions. So, so these actions are very important in order to solve a lot of the problems. There isn't enough time. So the only thing left to do is to boycott the country. Take your money out of the banks. Stop buying gasoline for at least a month. Make the month of October the worst month the United States politicians have ever seen. Stop buying as much as you buy. Be even more frugal than ever before. Put a dent in this financial network called the evil United States of America, and I guarantee you, as citizens, you will have your country again. The problem here is who do we pick to take the reins of the carriage we're pulling, called America? Who do we take those? Who do we say is worthy enough, intelligent enough, and multitasking enough to be able to hold the reins of those collective horses? Do we pick Caesar, me? Do we pick a number of people? Do we pick? Who do we pick? Well, you got to start somewhere. You can't just start nowhere. And when you give absolute power to somebody, the person I would say to be the best person to pick is a person who has been ranting and raving. Because at least you know every side of their character or personality. You don't know Obama's every side of his character or personality. You don't know Romney's. They're all tied in there. The pockets of other people got their hands in their pockets. Money, money, money. Favors, favors, favors. I don't know anybody any favors. That's why, I guess, if that were to happen, a fantastic thing in October were to happen, starting tomorrow, I'm sure I would be in somebody's rifle sights immediately, and it certainly wouldn't be the poor, and I really don't think it would be the middle class, but I'm sure somebody rich and powerful would be behind that rifle sight. And they'd say, yeah, it's time to get rid of Caesar. He's getting too close to power. He's really motivating the people, blah, 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 blah. You know what gets me? Remember what I said about DNA? You never know what you're killing when you kill that person. It's like the golden goose. If that person hasn't laid the golden egg yet, but they might lay it in 5 years or in 3 years, and everybody will get a huge windfall. And when I say everybody, everybody across the board, 100%, then you'd be ruining your chances, wouldn't you? And can you afford to take that chance? That someone has come to you on YouTube and says, I know the answers, all you got to do is follow me now. But it's not going to be for free. It's going to be very expensive. It's up to you. Answer me before it's too late. You don't want this debate to go on without me, this presidential debate.